Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Namaskar, welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. A very happy New Year, sir.
Wish you all too a very happy new year.
Uh, we are going to start our second day of student week, and I just request Sri Sanjay Odhikari sir to continue this day.
Good morning.
Namaskar, good
Thank
morning.
you. Good morning, sir. Thank you to each and everyone for being here with us once again today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for minutes. Sir, as Madam stated, today it is the second day of our Students' Week. Last day, that means yesterday, or the first day of the week, we got the presence of Dr. Tapalogna Das, Assistant Professor of Psychology of Sidhu Kanu Birsa University. We also got the presence of Indrani Dev, Principal of Nistarani College, and Dr. Chandrasekhar Hajra from Nistarani College also. And today, we are fortunate enough to get a speaker like Professor Asis Astava, Head Department of Educational Studies, School of Education, Mahatma Gandhi Central University here. But this is just a very simple designation today, and I know that he is a great personality in the field of education. And one very simple quotation to state a person like him, as we all know that people say success knocks our door only once, but a man like Professor Srivastava say, knock the door of success until success open the door. And really we are fortunate enough, we are really very lucky to get such an esteemed speaker to our students. Sir, now it is your time. Please, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjay Adhikari ji, for your nice words. Thank you so much. May I ask few of my students, those who are in comfortable position, can switch on their videos so that I can feel that I am interacting with my students, not with my machine. Those who are having comfortable position, because it is too cold. So before I begin, just let me know whether I am audible and visible enough. So Chitoya or anyone can reply me whether I am audible and visible enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clearly audible and nicely visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, sponsored Teacher Training College, again for giving me this opportunity to interact with my students, the bright future of India. And therefore, at the outset, let me extend my heartfelt thanks to the Dr. S.K. Vishwas, the principal of this sponsored Teacher Training College, Dr. Paulami Jana, coordinator of this program, Dr. Sachatoya Roy, Dr. Sanjay Adhikari, and all my dear students who are going to listen me today. My dear students, I know I know the limitation of language, but still I will try my level best to reach to you in all possible manner. My dear students, today we are going to discuss on blended mode of teaching learning, blended mode of learning. As I was told, blended mode of education with emphasis on student participation. So, my dear students, whenever I get opportunity to interact with my students, I always try to put my deliberation in right context, in right perspective, with all background. Therefore, my dear students, it is very essential for you to know. We all know about the blended learning, superficially, etymologically blended. We all know the word blended etymologically. We all know there are two paradigms of learning: synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning, which is completely online, and asynchronous learning, which is a mixture of online offline activities. So that I will be deliberating little later. Uh, my dear students, I am sure because it is now more than 1.5 years since this National Education Policy 2020 has come. We all know that July 2020 we have got our National Education Policy document. And I believe that because you are a student of sponsored teacher training college, which is one of the advanced college, updated college, and a kind of college which moves with time. So since you are a teacher trainee and you are not a student, you are teacher trainee of a sponsored training college, teacher training college, I believe that by now you must have read the document, policy document, National Education Policy Document 2020, which is only of 66 pages. So if you look at policy, National Education Policy Document, if you read that document, I am sure you must have noticed when this policy document has come, when the draft National Education Policy document has come, you must have noticed that the whole policy document, as per Dr. K. Kasturirangan, is based upon 5 foundational pillars. The whole National Education Policy document 2020 is based on 5 founding pillars. What are those founding pillars? What are those founding pillars? Can anybody tell me? What are those founding pillars? Okay, I know the limitation of technology, therefore question bhi mere aur uttar bhi mere. So those founding pillars are access, ACCESS. Access is 1, equity is 2, quality is 3, affordability is 4, and accountability is 5. So my dear students, if you notice, if you think, if you reflect over the policy document, you will be finding that the whole policy document is based on these 5 founding pillars. As I told you, access is 1, equity is 2, quality is 3, affordability is 4, and accountability is 5. So my dear friends, if you reflect at this particular pillar only, if you reflect on the founding pillars only, you will be in a position to understand the perspective. For example, because time is very less in my hand, therefore I will be taking one example to make you understand my point. Now, if you focus on the first pillar itself, what is that first pillar? ACCESS, access. Access is first pillar. So if you focus on the first pillar, access itself, and if you can recall the content of National Education Policy 2020, which is expecting to raise GER to 50% in case of higher education and 100% in case of school education. तो पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट उच्च हायर एजुकेशन की दुनिया में जीईआर को 50% तक ले जाना चाहता है. 50% एक्सपेक्टिंग टू रेज जीईआर टू 50% in case of higher education, and in case of school education it is expecting to raise to 100%. Okay. Now, because you are a teacher trainee, you are studying in teacher education program. Now you are mature enough to understand. You are mature enough to visualize. You are mature enough to gauge the situation that when the GER in higher education, when policy document was written, was 26.3%. Now policy document is expecting to raise it to 50%. So when 26.3% GER is there, you can visualize, you can think, you can imagine the structure, the status, the facilities, the infrastructure, the resources of existing institutions. Now, when it is expecting to raise it from 26.3% to 50%, now you can imagine what kind of infrastructure we will be requiring, we will be needing. My dear students, since you are a student of teacher education program, let me remind you one of the reports of National Knowledge Commission's report of 2005. National Knowledge Commission's report 2005. And since you are teacher trainee, you are expected to read all such important reports which impacts the teaching learning process, which impacts the research world, which impacts the world of educational institutions. So if you can recall National Knowledge Commission's report in 2005, the then report says that in order to meet international GER for higher education, India needs to open at least 2,500 universities. And if I'm not wrong, the then GER was 20%. So my dear friends, if you now with this background, if you can relate that present GER is around 27.2%. Now it policy document is expecting to raise it to 50%. So now you can imagine what kind of infrastructure, physical infrastructure we need. Number one. Number two, I don't know how many of you have listened to the speech of Honorable Prime Minister on 29th July 2021 when this policy document completed 1 year. So on that occasion, Honorable Prime Minister was speaking. The speech is available at YouTube. You can listen to that speech. And when you will be listening to that speech, and those who have listened, now you can recall that Honorable Prime Minister is quoting again and again the importance of online education. The importance of online education. And when a Prime Minister of any country is using some words, it has some significance. Now, this was number two. Number three, if you have policy document of English version, you can see at page number 5 and page number 6 where the guiding principles have been mentioned. Where the guiding principles have been mentioned. If you look at that guiding principles, you will be finding that one of the guiding principles is extensive use of technology. Extensive use of technology. One of the guiding principles is extensive use of technology. Now you need to connect all these three issues. Number one, that India through this national education policy document expecting to raise GER to 50%. Second, Honorable Prime Minister is quoting, reflecting, focusing on the use of online learning. Number three, you can see at page number 5, page number 6 that one of the guiding principles is extensive use of technology. Extensive use of technology. And therefore, my dear friends, my dear students, with this background, blended mode of learning is inevitable, is very important. And my dear students, since you are going to enter into your teaching profession very soon, it is very essential for you to understand the whole paradigm of both the approaches, synchronous learning approach and asynchronous learning approach. Uh, Generally, I do not share any PowerPoint presentation, but today, since the students are there and some language limitations are there, I am going to share one of the presentations so that you can see and you can understand. Just give me some time. Anybody can give me feedback. Are you in the position to see my screen? कोई भी जरा response करो.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, fine. So, my dear students, if you are in a position to see the screen, you can see that blended learning is off to on and off. Both we are going to mix. So, what is this blended learning? You can see this picture. Blended learning is, for example, you can see this first picture. Blended learning is classroom learning, then online learning, and then you can see that blended learning is using both the component. Then blended learning is we are going to combine, we are going to blend face-to-face training, virtual classroom, webinars, links, simulations, assessment, one-on-one coaching. Now, if you look at blended learning, I am just trying to make you understand the concept, the term only, blended learning. Then connected learning, face-to-face, project-based learning, global connections, online learning, all such things you are going to blend. Now, what you are going to blend is media activities and events, self-paced e-learning, online collaborative learning, face-to-face training. Then, if you look at the policy document, the document, or not on policy document, a blended mode of teaching and learning, which was uploaded by UGC on 18th May 2021 to seek the feedback of teachers across the country. And I personally suggest that you need to read that document. So there are 5 ways of to implement blended learning, which document says face-to-face driver, rotation, flex, labs, online drivers. So these details, because time is less, so these details you can read in the document. I will be sharing the document with you too. Now, blended learning is, there are certain models of blended learning. That one is rotation model, flex model, self-blend model, enriched virtual model, where a rotation model is having 4 station rotation model, lab rotation model, flipped classroom model, and individual rotation model. Then if you look at this quality teaching environment, you can see the 3 major paradigms. For example, if you look at the face-to-face, it is traditional model, offline model. We all are aware of this model. We are all the product of this model, so we understand this traditional offline model. Then if you look at virtual model is which I said that there are 2 approaches: synchronous, asynchronous. So this virtual, if you see, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. And if you look at blended, this is blend of online, offline components, activities, which we'll be sharing later. Now we all know about Education 4.0. If you are not aware of Education 4.0, kindly today itself, just after this lecture is over, you read Industrial Revolution, Industry 4.0, because Education 4.0 is addressing to the needs of Industry 4.0. So these are, I'm skipping because these are there in the document. I'll be sharing the whole document with you. So if you look at the whole issues, you'll be finding certain critical analysis. For example, there are some issues: team teaching, effectiveness of face-to-face model, spoon feeding, not expertise technically, increase the burden to teachers, not suitable for all the courses, gamification is missing, no framework, online internship. These are some issues which we are having a kind of apprehension as of now. But benefits are part-time course, lifelong learning, training program, orientation, refresher course, etc. So these issues we will be trying to address through this blended mode of learning. So we are going to use hybrid learning, right mix possibilities in learning. Okay, so enabling learning. So since we are visualizing several benefits of blended learning, therefore, my dear students, you can see that at blended learning, we are going to focus on three issues. Three issues: own place, own pace, own time. Own place, own pace, own time. हमारा अपना जगह होगी, हमारा अपनी गति होगी, पेस होगा, हमारा अपना टाइम समय होगा. We all know about certain infrastructure which we need for this blended learning. At home, what we do at home, if you look at this, you can see my screen. At home, we watch video, we hear audio, we hear lectures. But in classrooms, if you see, one-on-one mode, this you can see the picture is self-explanatory in itself. Then at home, if you look at instructors assign lectures, videos, as well as any other video or reading related to the day's subject. In class time is then devoted to discussion, debating, and exploration of the subject. So this is basic benefit of the blended mode of learning, where teacher gets, and since you are teacher to me, you are going to be a teacher very soon. You can imagine the benefits of this, because they will be listening to the content which is, I am giving you one example of Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Once I was interacting with Tata Institute of Social Sciences, they said that we do not teach anything which is available in students' hand. इसका क्या मतलब था? तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम कोई भी चीज नहीं पढ़ाते जो स्टूडेंट के हाथ में अवेलेबल हो. और हमको सबको पता है आजकल हमारे हाथ में ये जो, अगर आप मेरा वीडियो भी देख पा रहे हो तो हमारे हाथ में ये गैजेट है मोबाइल नाम का, जिसमें आजकल लगभग जो बड़ी संख्या है, टीचर टीवीज की बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं भारत की जनसंख्या की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, वो उनमें से बड़ी संख्या के पास इसका एक्सेस है, किसी न किसी फॉर्म में एक्सेस है इसका. तो बहुत सारा या नहीं एक्सेस है तो स्कूल के लेबोरेटरीज में, कॉलेज के आईसीटी रूम में उनको एक्सेस है. तो हर वो इन्फॉर्मेशन जो गूगल पर अवेलेबल है उसको वो नहीं पढ़ाते. वो कहते वो आप देख करके आइए, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है इन्फॉर्मेशन के लेवल पर देख करके आइए, हम उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन करेंगे. द ब्लेंडेड लर्निंग इज नाउ facilitating this kind of thinking. So we all know these things, that demonstration focused inverted model में video demonstration, home to rewind, observe, this is a facility, then rewatching, and then discussion and clearing doubts in classrooms. Now if you focus on this picture, I think this picture is this particular screen is more than sufficient to make you understand the benefit of blended learning. So you can see there are three pictures: home, class, and in between. So video demonstration at home, which you can provide to your student. They can watch it, they can watch with their pace, they can watch on their own time, and if they have any difficulty, they can rewind, they can observe, they can rewatch, and then when they will be coming to the classrooms, they will be discussing, they will be clearing the doubts in classrooms. And then teacher needs to be very highly prepared. That was that. Now I'll come to the Fox inverted classroom model. This model says that class watch lecture videos in class, allowing them to review materials at their own pace, and then finally, teacher offers individual support each young learner needs. This is Fox inverted classroom model. Then you can see group-based inverted classroom model, where at home, at class, lecture videos and resources shared before the classes, and in class teaming up to work together. My dear students, since you are teacher trainee, I think you are aware of different latest pedagogies in the form of cooperative learning, collaborative learning. Constructivist is now no more, nothing new is there in constructivism. Team work, group work. So, group-based inverted classroom model, where at home you will be preparing you for the foundation, and then you will be entering into the class, teaming up to work together on that basis. So you can utilize the concept of cooperative and collaborative learning also. Then virtual inverted classroom model, that means online mode virtual, at home itself online mode virtual, and classroom online mode virtual. Then instructional designs, identification phase, online model, content, modular element. Because let me remind you again that you are going to be teacher very soon. So when you will be entering into the actual world of teaching, you have to develop all such things. So you can see that identification phase, then development phase, then implementation phase, then evaluation phase. So I don't know how many of you are aware of the document of NMEICT. NMEICT. So if you have seen this document, is good. If you have not seen it, today itself you need to download, at least, if you are not in a position to read, at least download two documents. Number one, that blended mode of teaching uploaded by UGC on 18th May 2021. Number two, NMEICT, in order to make you understand this whole phase of. Now we all know, because you are teacher training, you all know about TPAC, TPACK. For last 5 to 6 months, I am personally adding one more A to this TPAC. One more A I am adding to this TPAC personally, in order to complete in order to achieve the intent and content of National Education Policy 2020 in our classrooms. But you can see the screen, you will finding that we all are aware on TPAC, which is TPAC. Now TPAC को हम क्या कह रहे हैं? Digital pedagogy कह रहे हैं. Digital pedagogy. So what is TPAC? Technology knowledge, content knowledge, pedagogy knowledge. ये हम सब जानते थे. और मैंने आपको कहा कि मैं एक ए अपनी तरफ से जोड़ रहा हूँ, उसको भी बता देता हूँ मैं. तो TPACK इज देयर, इसमें मैं एक ए अपनी तरफ से जोड़ रहा हूँ. मैं कह रहा हूँ इसको TPAACK, टेक्नोलॉजी, पेडागोजी, असेसमेंट एंड कंटेंट नॉलेज. Now, since you are going to be a teacher, you need to have balanced development. You need to have command over technology, over your content and over your pedagogy. अब यहाँ से हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं? Now we are shifting to digital pedagogy. So technological knowledge, content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge and digital pedagogy we need to make up. अब ये सब हम जानते हैं, because you are a student of teacher education programs. So Bloom's taxonomy, we all know, moving online instruction into higher orders of thinking. So how to move on this? You need to work on you need to start thinking on such issues. Because you are studying in a very good college, you are having very good teachers, so they will be making you aware on all such things. So you all know about Bloom's taxonomy. They are remembering, to understanding, to applying, to analyzing, to evaluating, to creating. You all know all these steps. Now you need to achieve all such steps through LMS, Learning Management System. Where you will be needing content, you will be needing discussions, you will be needing assignments, you will be needing quizzes, and that is why, my dear students, I am referring you to read NMEICT document. So Bloom's taxonomy, we all know, cognitive part. So I am ignoring these things. Now, when I was referring to the Bloom taxonomy, how to achieve this? Now, if you look at the taxonomy, the steps of taxonomy itself, remembering you can bookmarking, copying, highlighting, searching, understanding you can use generating, tweeting, tagging, subscribing, applying you can calculating, charting, editing, uploading, analyzing, mind mapping, surveying, linking, validating, evaluating, grading, testing, posting, moderating, and creating blogging, filming, podcasting, and directing. So when you will be thinking, आपको अभी क्या अनुभव है, आपने नॉर्मल अगर आपने प्रैक्टिस टीचिंग कर ली होगी तो आपने लेसन प्लान बनाए होंगे और उसमें आपने नॉर्मल जो एक्शन वर्ब्स हैं उनको यूज किया होगा. नाउ यू नीड टू स्विच ओवर टू डिजिटल पेडागोजी. दैट इज व्हाई I told you these things. We all know about these terms, and that is why I am referring you again and again to read policy document, which is only of 66 pages, as soon as possible, because these things, augmented reality, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, are going to be part of life very soon. Gamification. If you, for blending, we need content, we need interaction, we need independent learning, we need assessment. We need to blend all these things. We need to blend student support. So content to assessment to student support. Then delivery of content. When you will be working on it, you will be understanding that a small modular approach, interactivity, richness of content, availability within virtual learning experiences. So these things you need to accommodate when you will be creating your. Then interaction needs synchronicity, richness of interaction, provide stimulus, provide clear expectations of contribution. My dear students, since you are already in a teacher education program, you will be in a position to easily understand all the lessons of this presentation, because you all are already doing it. You all are already studying it in your institutions. Now you need to give a touch of you need to accommodate technology, and I have already explained the importance of technology in different versions. So we all know about independent learning, assessment and feedback, student support. I am going to tell you something. This is. So we all know about virtual meeting conferencing. We all know about Zoom. By now we all are aware on Zooms. We all are aware on Google Meet, Cisco Webex meeting, TeamLink, JustMeet, GoToMeet, Free Conference, Blue Button, Uber Conference, True Conference Online, Skype, Easy Meeting, Live Size Go, Slack video calls. For live streaming, we all know at least two things: Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Digital content tools needs OBS Studio. And these are tools. You can note it down. You can see. You can use these tools. Digital content tool, OBS Studio, PowerSoft, FreeCam, TinyTake, Screencast, Omatic, Screencastify, Greenshot. So these are some digital content tools you must be aware of. Then there are many learning management systems, and as a student of teacher education program, you must be knowing several platforms: Google Cloud, Geno, Google Classroom, Edmodo, Blackboard, edX, Coursera, and many platforms are being used. Then interactive presentation tools. My dear students, those who are having technology friendly attitude, you can explore these tools: Meeting Pulse, Webex, Slido, WooClap, Mentimeter, Flipgrid. All such tools you can use. These are interactive presentation tools. Then, my dear students, there are certain interactive whiteboard also: Jamboard, Strongboard, Miro Labboard. So you can explore these boards. Last month, my son, who is in class 8th only, helped me to take my classes through Jamboard. So he got the whole software installed in my mobile, and he made me understand how to use this. So there are several facilities, and since you are very young and you are having curious build of mind, you can use these boards. Then there are certain assessment tools, and Uh, on trial and error basis, you can explore these tools: Quizzes, Kahoot, Nearpod, Quizwise, Socrative, Clickers, Testomos, H5P. These are few assessment tools which you can use. Uh, I am stopping my presentation. These are the basic tools which I wanted to share with you. Now, my dear students, my dear friends, as I said, that you need to read this blended mode of teaching and learning, the concept of the document which was uploaded by University Grants Commission on 18th May 2021. Now, my dear students, now you are, because whatever I have shared as of now, I am sure many of you are knowing these things, because these are very common things, very basic things for blended learning. So my request to you is, number one, read that blended mode of teaching and learning document. Number one, those who have read, very good. Those who have not read, you need to read this blended mode of teaching and learning document. If you find difficulty in getting the document, you can approach me. I will be providing you the document. Second is you need to read the document of NMEICT, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology, NMEICT. So because this NMEICT is a fundamental document, very basic fundamental document, which at least teachers and teacher trainees and those who are intending to be a teacher must be aware of. So this NMICT. Then, my dear students, you need to be aware on, you need to have your exposure, your own understanding, your own experience on several platforms, as well as OERs, as well as some important documents. Now, if I refer to this document of UGC, and if I may try to make you understand theoretically, you can understand that the whole concept of blended mode of teaching and learning is nothing new for you, at least, because it is just an instructional methodology. It is just an instructional methodology. I am aware that I am interacting, I am speaking to the teacher trainees. Majority of you are teacher trainees, and therefore I am using these terms because you are familiar with these terms. So when I am referring to blended mode of teaching and learning, it is nothing new for you, at least, because it is just an instructional methodology which is capitalizing both synchronous and asynchronous learning approaches. Now, when I am saying that it is an instructional methodology, so having said this, I mean to say that teaching and learning approach that combines face-to-face classroom methods with computer-mediated activities to deliver instruction. So now, let me, because time is very less in my hand, therefore let me conclude by sharing my ideas into some concrete form. So, blended mode of teaching and learning is an instructional methodology, number one. What kind of instructional methodology it is? It is a teaching and learning approach that combines face-to-face classroom methods with computer-mediated activities. That combines two things: face-to-face classroom methods with computer-mediated activities. So I am now summarizing all the technological-related issues into computer-mediated activities. For what reason? To deliver instruction. So that means this pedagogical approach means mixture of face-to-face and online activities, and the integration of, as I am repeatedly saying, synchronous and asynchronous learning tools. And my dear friends, for what reason we are focusing on this? Because this will be providing an optimal possibility, optimal possibility for the arrangement of effective learning process. मैं जब अपनी बीएड की क्लास में पढ़ाया करता हूँ तो मैं अक्सर उदाहरण देता हूँ. And since you are teacher trainee, you can easily understand this. और मैं बहुत आसान भाषा में उदाहरण, बहुत आसान शब्दों में उदाहरण देता हूँ. आपने पता नहीं, मुझे नहीं मालूम आप में से कितने लोगों ने प्रैक्टिस टीचिंग कर ली है और कितने लोगों को प्रैक्टिस टीचिंग पर भी जाना है. एक छोटा सा उदाहरण, बहुत ही ग्रासरूट लेवल का उदाहरण मैं आपको देता हूं. अगर आपको आपकी कक्षा में हाथी को पढ़ाना, हाथी के बारे में पढ़ाना है, हाथी के बारे में पढ़ाना है, तो अच्छा टीचर कौन होगा? वो होगा जो हाथी को क्लास में ले जाए, क्योंकि रियल टीचिंग और रियल एक्सपीरियंस जो है वो ट्रू एक्सपीरियंस माने जाते हैं. हाथी आप ले नहीं जा सकते. और अभी मैं थोड़ी देर भूल जाऊं कि ऑनलाइन दुनिया एग्जिस्ट करती है. तो अच्छा टीचर क्या कोशिश करता था? जब मैंने बीएड किया था तब मुझे हाथी नहीं ले जाता था, हाथी का एक मॉडल ले जाता था या हाथी की इमेज ले जाता था. तो मैं इमेज ले जाऊं या मैं मॉडल ले जाऊं, अल्टीमेटली मैं जो ट्रू रिप्रेजेंटेशन है वो नहीं कर रहा हूं वहां पर. लेकिन आप जिस स्टेज में हैं, यहाँ पर आप रियल हाथी को क्लास में ले जा सकते हैं, और जो डेंजरस नहीं होगा, जो सेफ होगा, क्योंकि वो जो रियल हाथी होगा वो तो ये जो ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन का जो ब्लेंड है, सिंक्रोनस और असिंक्रोनस लर्निंग का जो ब्लेंड है, दैट ब्लेंड इज गोइंग टू मेक यू कैपेबल टू प्रोवाइड एन ऑप्टिमल पॉसिबिलिटी टू शेयर योर ट्रू एक्सपीरियंसेस. So that is why I am repeatedly saying that this particular pedagogical approach of blended mode of teaching and learning means a mixture of face-to-face and online activities and the integration of synchronous and asynchronous learning tools, and ultimately it is going to provide an optimal possibility for the arrangement of effective learning process. Effective learning process. So when you will be combining the synchronous and asynchronous learning tool, you will be in a position to provide your students the experiences which you have actually thought of. और जब मैं कह रहा हूँ लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस, हम सब जानते हैं, तीन बातें हम सब जानते हैं. और मैं अक्सर खास करके जब टीचर ट्रेनिंग से बात करता हूँ तो मैं अक्सर ये बात कहता हूँ कि तीन बातें आपको हमेशा ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए एक टीचर ट्रेनिंग होने के नाते. एक तो लर्निंग आउटकम, लर्निंग आउटकम, लर्निंग आउटकम. So after you are going, after your teaching is over, what your students are going to achieve? So learning outcome. और जब ये learning outcome इसके ऊपर, मतलब आपका जो स्टूडेंट है वो क्या करेगा, क्या कर लेगा, जब आप learning outcome पर क्लियर रहेंगे, then you will be in a position to select learning experiences, to select learning experiences. For what these learning experiences? To reach to that learning outcome. और जब आप लर्निंग आउटकम को सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे, जब आप लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंसेस को सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे, तब आप बहुत आसानी से समझ जाएंगे कि अब मैं क्या कंटेंट चुनूं जिससे ये एक्सपीरियंसेस बोले, इन एक्सपीरियंसेस के माध्यम से वो आउटकम अचीव हो. एंड माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, जिस दिन आपको एनालॉजी समझ में आ जाएगी, जिस दिन आपको एनालॉजी समझ में आ जाएगी, दैट डे यू विल बी अ वंडरफुल टीचर. You will be an outstanding teacher. Learning outcome, relationship between what? Learning outcome, learning experience, and the content. So, my dear students, blended mode of blended mode of teaching and learning will be providing an optimal possibility for the arrangement of effective learning process. One more thing, in a true blended learning environment, both the student and the teacher should be physically located in the same space. But despite this, my dear students, the digital tool used should be able to be utilized by students in order to enforce some control over the speed or topics of the learning. Now, my dear students, when you will be reading that document of UGC, then you will be in a position to relate what I am sharing with you right now. This particular blended mode of teaching and learning will be very helpful. Is going to transform the world of teaching learning process. Why I am using this word transformation? When you will be reading that document of UGC, blended mode of teaching and learning, you will be in a position to relate these things. So that document talks about educational transformations. क्यों एजुकेशन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की बात कर रहा है? 5 बातों के कारण कर रहा है, 5 बातों के कारण. नंबर 1, flexibility and quality. Flexibility and quality. Why blended mode of teaching and learning is being emphasized like anything? Why your throughout the nation, it is being focused. Why your West Bengal government is focusing on blended mode of teaching? Because it has many benefits. So blended mode of teaching and learning is going to transform. Why transformation? I'm using this word because it talks about educational transformation. So first I am referring to flexibility and quality. Flexibility and quality. Why I am sharing this flexibility and quality? Because students will be in a position to pick teachers and timings. Completely flexibility will be there. Then it will be addressing to needs and interests. So first is it addresses to flexibility and quality. Second, it is addressing to needs and interest. Third, it is addressing to the student centricity. Fourth, it will be addressing to real world. And fifth, it will be addressing to the need of when ready. That means learning. So flexibility or quality means the teachers and timings. Needs and interest means frame your courses. Student centricity means design your degrees. Real world means study through any mode. And when ready means learning or exams on demand. And that is why I don't know how many of you are aware on ABC. KBC we all are aware of. I don't know how many of you are aware on ABC. Academic Bank of Credit. If you are aware on this, very good. If you are not aware on this, today only, at least whatever I am giving you reference in your laptop, in your mobile, anywhere of your choice, in your email, at least you need to store, you need to collect, you need to download, you need to make a folder today itself, so that in time to come, whenever you get time, you can read these documents, you can refer these documents. So I was referring to ABC, Academic Bank of Credit, which has been emphasized by National Education Policy Document 2020. So when you will be focusing on Academic Bank of Credit, now Government of India has already notified through Gazette notification, Gazette of India, Academic Bank of Credit notification is there. So you can read the detail of Academic Bank of Credit. That is a different issue, but as of now, I just want to make you aware on the intent of ABC, Academic Bank of Credit. So my dear students, when you will be referring to UGC, the document of UGC, which I have referred you many times today itself. So if you look at ABC, you will be in a position to understand more in clear terms the importance of blended mode of teaching and learning. So what is ABC, Academic Bank of Credit? Which is a carefully laid out set of building blocks that has flexibility for everybody. For the top level higher learner to go on fast track, while the slow learner would require extra time and assistance to meet their academic targets. So my dear friends, since we are aware of this assumption, keeping this in mind, the Academic Bank of Credit can be understood in 6 easy blocks, 6 building blocks. Number 1, that any subject combination. Number 2, flexible education. Number 3, the flexibility would be given to students to study in any national or international institutions, converting credits into degrees and diplomas. Number 4. Number 5, enabling a lifelong learning process, so that the notion of a fixed time for education is done away with the option of multiple entry and exit points. And number six is the opportunity for the students to indulge in a portfolio or types of courses leading to something called a Bachelor of Liberal Education in the event of credits. So ABC, Academic Bank of Credit. So I'm referring, because time is less, so I'm referring to the reference also. When you will be reading that document of UGC, you will be in a position to understand. ABC building blocks. ABC building blocks. What is this ABC building blocks? Bachelor of Liberal Education, convert credits into degrees and diplomas, studying any national international institutions, lifelong learning enabler, merging of regular distance online virtual, सब मोड को merge कर देगा, merging of regular mode and distance mode, online mode, virtual mode, and any subject combinations. So ABC building block. So when you will be referring to ABC building blocks, you will be in a position to understand the forthcoming and the inevitability of blended learning for students. We all know there are certain important features of blended learning. For example, increased student engagement in learning, enhanced teacher and student interaction, responsibility for learning, time management and flexibility, improved student learning outcome, enhanced institutional reputation, then you can say more flexible teaching and learning environment, more amenable for self and continuous learning, and you can say better opportunities for experiential learning. Experiential learning. I don't know how many of you have actually read this policy document of 2020. And first 10 pages you need to read like anything. For example, let me share with you where in the very beginning, if I'm not wrong, the third or fourth paragraph itself, policy says that with the quickly changing employment landscape and global ecosystem, policy document is saying it is becoming increasingly critical that children not only learn but more importantly learn how to learn. It is becoming increasingly critical that children not only learn but more importantly learn how to learn. But more importantly, learn how to learn. My dear students, policy document is focusing on experiential learning, and that is why this better opportunities for experiential learning is an important feature of blended learning. Then there are many benefits. For example, let me share with you few benefits. Opportunities for collaboration at a distance. Individual students work together virtually in an intellectual endeavor as a learning practice. Then increased flexibility, I have already shared many times. Increased interaction, enhanced learning to be virtual citizens are a few of the key benefits of this document. So what should be the role of a learner in this whole blended learning environment? What should be the role of student? So increase student interest. When technology is integrated with the lessons, learners are more likely to be interested in, focused on, and excited about the subject they are studying. Then keep a student focused for longer. Then it provides students autonomy. Then it instill a disposition of self-advocacy. Then it promotes student ownership. Then it allows the student to instant diagnostic information and student feedback. It enables the student to learn at their own pace. I don't know how many of you are aware of this PSI model, personalized system of instruction. So if you can recall the merits of all PSIs, and you can relate it with the benefits of technology, you will be in a position to explore the benefits of blended mode of teaching and learning. Now, this whole blended learning environment prepares a student for the future. Why I am saying it prepares a student for the future? Because blended learning offers a multitude of real world skills. Nowadays, recently I interacted with one of the PhD scholars of Tejpur University who is working on 21st century skills. So this blended learning offers a multitude of real world skills that directly translate into life skills from what? From research skills, from self learning, from self engagement, helps to develop a self driving force, better decision making, offer a larger sense of responsibility, and computer literacy. And my dear students, let me share with you that you all are aware on Swayam, you all are aware on Swayam Prabha. Swayam as a platform, Swayam Prabha is supporting support to Swayam. You all are aware on these things. So let me summarize it by reminding you that the National Education Policy 2020 document is based on 5 founding pillars. You need to reflect on these 5 founding pillars. I started with these 5 pillars. Access is 1, equity is 2, quality is 3, affordability is 4, and accountability is 5. So when you will be focusing, when you will be reflecting, आपको चिंतन करना है, आपको सोचना है इसके ऊपर, एक पिलर के ऊपर सोचना है कि कैसे ये पिलर्स करिकुलम से जुड़ेंगे, कैसे ये पिलर्स पेडागॉजी से जुड़ेंगे, कैसे ये पिलर्स असेसमेंट से जुड़ेंगे. सो करिकुलम, पेडागॉजी, स्टूडेंट सपोर्ट, क्योंकि आप टीचर ट्रेनी हैं, you are teacher trainee, and therefore you need to reflect on these 5 pillars. And when you will be reflecting, when you will be reading those documents I have referred, you will be in a position to relate it, to visualize it, to translate it, to apply it in your own life, my dear students. With these words, I wish you all good luck for your bright future, and thank you so much that you listened me with so patience without any disturbances. Wish you all good luck. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Thank you Dr. Sanjay Adhikari, Dr. Sachatoya, Dr. Nabani Burman, and all the learned colleagues, learned staff, learned teaching faculty, and the brilliant students of sponsored teacher training college. Thank you Dr. S.K. Vishwas for giving me this opportunity. Thank you one and all. Now the floor is open for any question. Any question, any suggestion, any observation?
Sir, actually, I had a question.
Yeah, please.
Not precise. It is an observation tagged along with the question. So basically, blended learning is being integral to education nowadays, that we all know. The government has also given a comprehensive blueprint on how to integrate this blended mode of learning and digital mode of learning in our curriculum. But there is sort of lopsided mismanagement that is going on over here, because the government is giving a theoretical blueprint of how to integrate blended and digital learning into our curriculum. But there are no utility programs or training classes as such in which we learn how to precisely step by step adopt and manipulate these learning techniques in order for a better learning environment. For instance, given the example of our teachers training classes, there isn't a single semester which is invested with a curriculum or invested with a syllabus which deals with how to adopt this blended learning and digital techniques and train the students who are there on the other hand. We have our programs wherein we go to the classrooms and teach the students, but the resources for digital reinforcement is being very limited over here. We haven't given down any digital accessories in order to enhance this sort of digital learning on that platform. So over here there's a sort of mismanagement that has been going on over here. It's my personal observation, although I personally feel that there's a need to incorporate more digital devices, and obviously there's a need to increase the GDP percentage on education for this reason. If institutions such as these training colleges and others, general institutions, technical institutions, are given a sort of facility or a provision of digital reinforcement and digital technologies as such, this sort of lopsided mismanagement that has been going on over here, or there's a problem in the program which has been going on over here, can be somewhat managed. Because when it comes to utility, then we do not know how to utilize it. Because many of the students are coming from inaccessible, marginalized, and remote areas who do not have a first-handed knowledge of how to utilize these resources, either for making others learn or either for learning by themselves. So here is where I feel there is a glitch somewhat.
Yes, Jilam said, you have raised, your observation is truly meaningful. And what I personally feel is, we all know about digital divide. Other than issue of digital divide, we are facing the consequences of our ignorance, because this whole world of digital education, digital teaching learning process, whole digital world is changing very rapidly. So if I, for time being, if I avoid this digital divide, issue of digital divide, if I imagine for a while that we all are having all the minimum essential resources in our hand, then the ignorance, the attitudinal issues are affecting these things. So you have raised a very valid observation, and I think teacher education departments precisely should come forward so far as raising aspirations, orientations to the updates can be made possible. So thank you for sharing your observations, Jiram Singh.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Sir, please, Ramesh.
I have a question, sir, related to TPEC, technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. Sir, it was first introduced by Suleimani in 1986, we know. But then it is introduced TPEC, technology, pedagogical, and content knowledge, by Kohler and Kopler in 2005. But I want to know from your answer, anybody introduced TPEC, that is technological, pedagogical, assessment, and content knowledge? Assessment and content technology. Any work done, sir, till now in the world, sir?
I think you have not listened to me. That for last 5 to 6 months, I am personally adding this A to this TPAC, because I personally feel, because I am a teacher educator, I personally feel that many institutions, many teacher training programs, many schools are missing this important term and creating an unnecessary burden on students. So I am personally adding this work, and I'm doing a small piece of research, and when it will be done, it will become in a published form. So far as technological, pedagogical, assessment, and content knowledge is concerned, I said very clearly and categorically that I am personally adding this A to this TPAC.
Sir, it has been published, sir.
Work is still in progress. It will be published very soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Or should I conclude by saying you thank you and bye-bye?
I think no one. Is anyone?
Dr. Sanjay, just a minute. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. Any student, if you want to ask question, you can ask me in Bengali also. I can understand Bengali very well. So, if you wish, you can. If you are hesitating in speaking English, you can ask me in Bengali. I will be responding in mixed Hindi or English. Don't hesitate in asking question because of language constraint. You can ask in Bengali.
বাংলা, হিন্দি, ইংরেজি যে কোনো ভাবেই স্যারকে প্রশ্ন করতে পারো, স্যার তিনটেতেই উত্তর দিতে পারবেন। যদি তোমাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে, you can speak either in English or in Bengali. You can also ask question in Hindi also.
Okay, they are good students. They don't have any questions.
স্যার বলছিলাম ওই অ্যাসেসমেন্টের উপরে যে কাজটা স্যার কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেলে সেটা স্যার পাবলিশ কোথায় বা কিভাবে আপনার কাছে যোগাযোগ করলে এই কাজটা পাওয়া যেতে পারে, মানে আপনার
it will be circulated to your institution precisely, and I will be circulating it to all possible platforms where at least teachers are connected. Okay, Rameshji.
ওকে স্যার, ওকে স্যার,
Thank you, dear. Thank you. So I think we can begin now.
A lot of thanks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of thanks to our Srivastav sir to share his valuable time with us and delivering such a nice and important lecture on blending mode of education. In his speech, he utters about 5 founding pillars, mentions the speech of our Honorable Prime Minister, indicating the importance of online education, and also states about the extensive use of technology, and from it is clear that the blending mode of education is the need of time. Our time is demanding it. So, sir, your slides here and your speech are in so lucid manner that it clear to all, and we are really very thankful to you for sharing your valuable time to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All the best. Keep
Yes,
in touch.
yes, sir. All right. Now, our second speaker is Dr. Tushar Kanti Khora, Joint DPI Higher Education, Department of Education, Government of West Bengal, and most probably sir is with us. So it is over to Khora sir.
আমাকে শোনা যাচ্ছে?
हाँ सर सुना जाता है।
ওকে, তো জানি না স্টুডেন্টরাও আছে সঞ্জয়?
हाँ सर আছেন স্যার, আছেন স্যার।
ঠিক আছে, ওকে ফাইন। দেখা যাক আমি কিভাবে পারি। আমি যতটুকু ভেবেছি সেটা চেষ্টা করি বলার। স্টুডেন্টদের জন্য বেসিক্যালি টপিক ইজ যে স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড and other scholarships, those are available for the students at least for UG and onwards. What are the schemes available from the government of West Bengal, and on emphasis on student credit card. Right, this may be my topic. স্ক্রিন দেখা যাচ্ছে?
हाँ सर দেখা যাচ্ছে স্যার।
রাইট, যদিও আমি টপিকটা এরকম দিয়েছি স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড এন্ড প্লাস প্লাস হোয়াট আর দ্য স্কলারশিপ, আমি যেভাবে ভাবছি সেভাবে যে স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড টাতে এমফেসিস দেবো, কিন্তু অন্য কি কি স্কলারশিপ অ্যাভেলেবল অ্যাটলিস্ট ফর ইউজি এন্ড অনওয়ার্ড স্টাডি ফর দ্য স্টুডেন্টস হু আর দ্য রেসিডেন্ট অফ ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল। রাইট, এটা বেসিক্যালি একটা স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড দেখতে কেমন হয়, যারা যারা পেয়েছো, যদি কেউ পেয়ে থাকো তোমাদের ইনস্টিটিউশন থেকে, তাদের কাছে কার্ডটা এরকম দেখতে লাগবে। একটা স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড বলে লেখা থাকবে, ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল গভর্নমেন্টের লোগো থাকবে, নাম থাকবে, তোমার ছবিটা চেষ্টা করা যাবে, নইলে ওখানটা ফাঁকা থাকবে, ইউ ক্যান পেস্ট ইট, নো ইস্যুজ। এটা কারা করেছে, ডিপার্টমেন্ট অফ হায়ার এডুকেশন, গভর্নমেন্ট অফ ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল বলে একটা নাম্বার থাকবে। ব্যাক এন্ডে পেছনের দিকটাতে তোমার অ্যাড্রেস থাকবে, তুমি কোন কোর্স কোন ইনস্টিটিউশন থেকে পড়ো সেটাও দেওয়া থাকবে। রাইট, এবার the program, the student credit card itself, thought on basically on this particular area. Actually, in our state, around 38 to 39 lakhs of students at least pass out every year. All are in the domain of class 10 to N level. So student credit card basically aim into those guys, the students who are studying at class 10 or 11 or 12 or in graduation of any type, maybe including ITI, polytechnics, nursing, BSc, BCom, B.Ed, those are available, PhD, MPhil, postdoc, anything within India, within West Bengal and also abroad. Those guys are covered under here. The main criteria is that whether you are a resident of West Bengal for last 10 years or not. Now, বলবে স্যার এগুলো সব ঠিকঠাক নয়, এগুলো আমরা তো লোন পাচ্ছি না, ব্যাংক আমাদের ফিরিয়ে দিচ্ছে, হ্যাঁ, those things are there. সেটা বলার আগে আমি তোমাদের দুটো একটা ডেটা দিই। Data as extracted on 31st night at around 10 o'clock. দেখো এখানে যে ডিফারেন্ট টাইপস অফ প্রোগ্রামে ডিফারেন্ট লোন পেয়েছে। These are the data based on the number of students getting the loan from a particular program. দেখো এখানে ইউজি আছে, পিজি আছে, পিএইচডি আছে, এমফিল আছে, স্কুল আছে, কোচিং ক্লাস আছে, ভোকেশনাল আছে। From every program there is a number of students who have already have received the loan or the card itself. Card is nothing but your entitlement certificate that you can think of, and of course you will have a loan sanction letter from your concerned branch. And if I go in particular areas mean there's a program and the program type. If I go in a particular area, say like general education or ITI or law or management or medical includes everything. Medical includes paramedical also. That means OTT, BMLT or DMLT, medical laboratory technology. Those things are covered in medical. MBBS of course are there. Polytechnics has ITI, schools, everything. And on the side of that, I have given you that how many students have already received the loan sanction letter, particularly studying in B.Ed or D.Ed. Because there are students who are studying in B.Ed or D.Ed. They have received the loan and the numbers are there. If you want to know the particulars of those students, that is the name, where they are reading, from which bank, which amount they have received, everything is there. That can be shared on need basis or on work basis. Actually, these data are we are extracting, or especially we have a little cell, very small cell comprising of 1 or 2 fellows. We are extracting data on daily basis for every day, today itself, that Sunday, that is also available. That means on a very timeline manner, beginning from the date of inception of the program till today, it is available at morning 7. So morning 7 data is available, but this is particularly for the presentation. I have extracted data only at night 10. Now these are the few success stories. Just I will put in a few pictures. These are the real pictures taken by either ODM or DI or our officers. This is the loan sanction letter and Shubhecha Varta of CM, and those are in the hands of the students, guys. So these are the few glimpses. This is the awareness program going in some higher education institute. This is also running in school also. Right. So this is the beginning. I should say beginning because this scheme has only 4-5 months old. But it will go for the years after year, months after month. There is no last date, or there is no start date, or there is no gap between it. It will run for 365 days into 24/7. Main thing is that this is a real time basis scheme. That means you can apply in any point of time. Any point of time means evening at night 1 o'clock you can apply. At morning So, and on the time that you submit or you process your application, it will be transferred to your next higher or next higher level on real-time basis. That means there is no lack of time between the processing of your demand and any higher of yours. So that is a basic feature. Other than the student credit card, there are another 5 schemes of the government. I'm going one by one. This is one, এটা আমরা শর্টে বলি SBMCM, সেমি বিবেকানন্দ মেরিট কাম স্কলারশিপ। আমি ওয়েবসাইটটাও দিয়েছি। এখানে 2000 থেকে 2500 টাকা পার মান্থ স্কলারশিপ পাওয়া যাবে। This is not a loan, this is scholarship, and this you can avail whenever you are studying a particular course. That it depends on the course. I hope all of you know that B.Ed has now is under SBMCM for all institute. All institute means all. That means government aided, private college. Those all students who are studying there are under the cover of SBMCM from this year. And that means if you are studying the UG level and there is a small bar of family income, I think that may be waived also. And this SBMCM is applied only once in a year. Still, I hope it is well run. So normally it starts from 1st November and ends at 31st December, but it varies from year to year. Normally for this last phase of the financial year or the calendar year, it is normally open, and it is a completely online portal like student credit card. This is also 100% online program and on real-time basis. There is another scheme which we call Biggani Konni Scholarship Scheme. This is only for the girl child, and this may have a similarity with some government scheme, central government scheme. But think on this Biggani Konni Scholarship Scheme. This is only by JVMSTS. So jvmsts.org is the site address. This is also declared in once in a year. Normally it starts from September to December. Within that spell it is being selected. Scholarship is only for 2,000 rupees per month for entire duration of your course. And the selection is some selection criteria like percentage of marks or like that, and there is a written test and interview based on which the students are selected. That means the girl students are selected, and the scholarship is this much. Another is Urkosri scholarship. This year it is a little bit trouble on Urkosri because there is a scheme student credit card. That's why it has been a little dilemma. But normally this Urkosri scholarship is a very wide span. It starts from the class 11 up to the PG level. So any UG course student can apply. The main criteria is that you should be a minority student of any category, maybe of children, maybe of SC, maybe of ST, maybe of OBC, but you should be minor or the minority category, and it is from the Minority Development Finance Corporation, which is very close to Vikas Bhavan, but also close to City Center in Salt Lake. They have a separate building and separate wing, and the scholarship is also online, but the selection criteria based on basically the marks and the annual income like SBMCM. Quite similar to SBMCM, but it is specially for minority guys. There is another Navanna scholarship which is from the Chief Minister's Relief Fund, and it scholarship amount varies from year to year and so also from course to course. And the main criteria is similar to SBMCM, that is the marks obtained and the annual family income. Now, this scholarship is good, but since you don't know the quantity or the amount of the scholarship, so you cannot plan yourself. And one thing is more that no scholarship, that means if you get one of these 4 scholarships, you won't get the other. Normally. I should say it's normally the emphasis word here. Normally, one scholarship doesn't that means exclude the others possibility. But particularly for students' credit card, there is a no linkage whether you are get a scholarship from any other source or not. It is immaterial that whether you are getting a scholarship maybe of 10,000 per month. That doesn't matter whether you are asking for a student credit card or not. That's the biggest advantage. The scholarship and the student credit card, those are two different concepts, and no one is linked to the other. And one more thing is that the institution choice for these 4 scholarships are for the institute within West Bengal. But student credit card has a bigger domain. It includes all institute of West Bengal, starting from ITI to university, and also it includes all institute in the country. That means whether it is in Andhra or in Karnataka or in Delhi or in UP or in Kerala, it doesn't matter. It covers all institute of the country. Also institute where the students of West Bengal studied abroad. So that means it covers over the whole globe all institutes. So that is the biggest advantage of student credit card. Now I am going switch over to student credit card mostly with a few slides and then online. This basically banned on, that the student credit card banned on these all state government run cooperative banks of any district and few nationalized banks, mainly three or four or five rather, UCO, Punjab, Union Bank, Bengal Gramin Vikas Bank and Paschim Bengal Gramin Vikas Bank. These are the first 5 banks based nationalized bank on which student credit card is now at least on board, and only the 3 commercial banks like Axis, HDFC and ICICI are on board till today. It may happen that tomorrow SBI will also join. So let us hope for the best, but only at this point of time till today these 8 banks are on board other than the all cooperative banks. And the flow is like this. Students can register first. I will show on the screen that how they will register. Once you register, you will have an user ID and password that is once for all, and then you can apply by login. So once you get the user ID password after registration, you cannot change your program name, your institute name, your date of birth, your Aadhaar, your mobile number, your email. These things you cannot change any further point of time for whole course of the study. That's why this is the biggest challenge, or rather be serious, you students, that you please don't change your mobile number and email while you are studying a particular program. And my suggestion is that don't change it for your life. That means for your lifetime, at least as long as you are a student, don't change your mobile number and your email, because that may create problem in many areas. Many areas from every day to day you will face a problem. That much time you will not have in hand to rectify. So that is the one problem. That means once you register, your Aadhaar will be blocked, your mobile number will be blocked, and all communication will be based on your mobile and your email. So that is the minimum suggestion, or rather the strongest suggestion to all of you students who are trying to apply or will apply on student credit card, that you make sure about that. And once you register, then you can apply. There is a definite what you call the web-based form, and you apply. Then once you submit it, then automatically it will go to your head of the institute. That means you have fixed your institute while you are registered, so that will go directly to your institute on that real-time basis. And then institute, if they log in on that point of time, they are able to see that particular application. Once they will verify I will see you later that what they will verify. And once they will verify, they can either forward to us or they can return to you. That means the institution has two choices: either it will forward to us or it will return to the student. And the department, that means we fellows, we can cross check that what you have checked and the further things if you are there. We will forward it to the bank or we can return to the student, return to the head of the institute. That means we cannot return to the student, and also bank can either return to the department or can return to the student. So bank to student can happen, and one step back is always possible from anywhere. But for the bank is very good. Bank can return it directly to the student or to the department. But once the application goes to the bank, suppose we cannot change anything because that is a different domain. Our domain comprising of student, development institute, and department. These three are in one platform. The bank is a separate platform. So that's why nothing can be done when the application is on the bank side. Right. The main objective interest, that means this is a hassle-free, collateral-free, that means no security deposit needed, and this scheme is based on the simple interest at 4% and maximum of 10 lakhs. For all institutes or for the all courses, the students who are pursuing their studies either within West Bengal or outside West Bengal, but within the country or also outside the country, that is abroad. Here, that means students who are studying at Rajasthan, say like Kota, 11 and 12, they can also apply for this. And this maximum amount of 10 lakhs, let me be clear with that, it covers this maximum limit for your entire student life. That means say you are a student of class 11, so you applied for a loan of 1 lakh, and then you pass your rank, then you come to the UG level, so you are studying there at Karnataka, then you apply a loan for 5 lakhs, which is fine, 5 plus 1, 6 lakhs, bank can allow you, so you get a loan there for 5 lakhs, you finish your loan, then you go say abroad, and you expected a loan of 4 lakhs, that is permissible. Because that total amount of your student lifetime is within 10 lakhs or exactly less than equal to 10 lakhs. So that is the 10 lakhs maximum benefits. Now, what are the benefits? This is hassle-free. This is a maximum of 10 lakhs, 4% interest, and if you pay interest within your study period, then 1% concession for the rest of the amount is permissible. And you can have loan only on two things. One is institutional and the other is non-institutional. What actually institutional fees or expenses means? That means it is for tuition fees or for exam fees or for library fees or for laboratory fees and also the caution deposit or any refundable fees which are applicable to your institute. These things are covered as institutional expenses. And in the application, I will show you that there are two options. One is the course fee and the second is the total loan amount. The total loan amount means institutional plus non-institutional. And the course fee means the only the institutional expenses. That means the all expenses in which the particular institute or your institute are taken as in counter or by the bank account. That is the institutional fees. And what are the non-institutional fees? Non-institutional fees means fees for accommodation or penny or purchasing books, computer, laptop, tablets, and other expenses for completing your course like study tour, project work, thesis work, etc. are covered as non-institutional fees. Now questions remain that what are the proportion of that I can think of. Course fee is clear, that is institutional fee, say that is 1 lakh. Fine. Now what what are the amount that I can maximally taken as a non-institutional fee. Now, even as a student of a government-aided institution, your maximum limit is maximum of 2 lakhs for as non-institutional expenses. But if you are a student of a private institution, then your maximum limit is 20% of your course fee. That means if that is 1 lakh, you can claim your maximum loan amount to be 1.2 lakhs. But as you are studying in government aided institution, so you can claim as a course fee is 1 lakh, you can claim up to 3 lakhs. Right. So that is written there. Now, few teachers, there are teachers who tell that how to justify that your words are true. No issues. Don't agree words are true. What I am saying exactly on the portal, which is the government portal, I will show you while it is there. So that is the issue, that not an issue. So for a aided institution, you can claim up to 2 lakhs and that plus the course fees. The eligibility is that you should be a permanent resident of the West Bengal for the last 10 years and you should be studied at class 10 onwards at any level or for any competitive exam coaching rate of interest. You can have this loan up to 40 years and your maximum is 10 lakhs. You can ask for the loan for any time of your course, no issues, and you can have the I hope I'll scope. And the other things are very minimal. This is already I have told you. Everything is there. The margin money is 0 for up to 4 lakhs loan. After 4 lakhs, you really ask for a margin money of 5%. Now, here is a point. There is a point is that if you have any type of scholarship or assistance during your study from anywhere, may not be from your institute, say maybe from the other NGO, you are having some assistance for your study. Mention that in the form. That will help you to adjust your margin money. But that means if you get the scholarship, then if you ask for a loan of 5 lakhs, then 5% is very nominal. If you get the total scholarship amount to be that much amount, then you need not to submit any margin money to the bank for more than 4 lakhs loan. That is the one facility. And the repayment period is maximum to be 50 years from the date of the first disbursement. That means first disbursement may happen on the 10th of January 2022. Then from 2022 up to 50 years, you can repay your loan. But it will start from the very first month after completing 1 year from the completion of your course. So if you complete the course at 2025 December, then from the 2026 January, from January, your first EMI will start. What are the documents that you need to have in hand to start application in a student credit card? That already I have mentioned here. The scanned copy of the photographs of passport size photographs of you and mother, signature of both, Aadhaar of both. Aadhaar to be mentioned, Aadhaar should be a complete Aadhaar or the both side of the Aadhaar. That means Aadhaar, pocket Aadhaar, there is on the reverse side of the pocket Aadhaar, there is an address. Aadhaar, the very first is address and details about the Aadhaar card and your pictures, so also signatures, so are there in the first page. So either scan the complete Aadhaar or both side of the pocket Aadhaar. And the address proof, Aadhaar is good enough for the address proof. Admission receipt, which is mandatory. Admission receipt means after taking the admission, only enter that time, not on the based on the offer letters. So that is that, and the PAN cards of both and the course fee document. That means every course, the institution must have a brochure for it. If you do not have a brochure, but it is in dynamic website of the institute, in the dynamic website of the institute, there must be a page declaring that you are the course taken for this particular program. That printout is also can be sufficed for the document regarding the tour of document. This is actually the place, the first page. I just mentioned here one thing and then I go to the stop is that here is the web address. Don't mention that this is www.wgcc.gov.in, but this is the institute page. And just to mention that this is a secure site. There is no possibility of hacking, cooking, or devising of this site. This is a totally secure government site. So yes, this is the web address, and I hope I could show. Is it visible, Sanjay? Sanjay, is it visible? Sanjay. Anyone respond? Is the site is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is actually the home page. And the home page, see here, these are the two helpline mails. So you can contact us by this helpline mail. Then of course I will give you one more mail address of mine where you can have any query on the student credit card. You can directly contact me also. There are three links. One is student registration on the student login and admin login. Other than the student, everybody is under administrator login. I am the administrator. So for the student registration, see here there is two types. One is for the institute within India and for the institute outside India. So as we are all in India, so clicking on India, this is a registration form. Here the name and then the date of birth, gender and Aadhaar. And all these are mandatory fields. And then the present course of study. What I have mentioned that you present course of study in the your registration form. So that you cannot change unless you delete your registration. So don't apply unless you are a student of that particular institute ready for registration. Registration means for the university registration. So after you are a fixed student of that institute, you fix your program at the state and district of the institute and then the institute. Right? And all these are linked. But to be mentioned that for the program and program name, this is no linked to an institute. That means I may choose BA even I am studying in a university. Most of the university doesn't have a graduate program. But even if you can choose that, in that case, that particular institute will reject you. That's returned to you. But even if it is returned to you, you cannot delete the registration. Delete registration is only in the hands of the student, not in the hands of the anybody hired to him. That means even I or the system admin cannot delete it. Only delete by the student itself. So while you are not a student of a particular institute or particular program, please don't register because there is no start time or any time. You can apply any time you go whole course. So no issues. But be sure that you are a student of that particular program in that particular institute. Otherwise, please don't register. So here you can have a lot of choice: IUG, PG, diploma, postgraduate, MPhil school, so and so. So if I choose, say UG, then the program name will be only the UG program. So you can choose say BA/BEd. Fine. If you choose BA/BEd, then choose any of the states. Say I am choosing West Bengal. Say I am choosing say Purulia. PUR. So this is here is Purulia. And then I can choose only, then I can able to see only the institute in the state of West Bengal and only in the district of Purulia. So if I choose say a state to be Kerala and district is one of them, then I will here will be able to see the institute of Kerala's. Right? Not on Kerala on that particular district. Otherwise I can't. See if I choose Karnataka here, Karnataka and Karnataka say Bangalore urban, there is a lot of institute. Only you will be able to see the Karnataka urban districts, institutes. So that way we have done. So no issues, and the few students who are applying, say studying at Techno India, they often call it to be Kolkata, but Techno India is not in Kolkata, only in North 24 Kolkata. So that mistakes are initially being done by the students, but we have rectified and informed them and let them to literate. So after that, you must have your mobile number, and which is mandatory, and the email address. So please don't change your mobile number in email, and of course Aadhaar cannot possible to change. So these are the fixed field, and these cannot be changed by any person by any time. Only it can be changed by the student. So students on register, it is locked. So no way you can change your mobile or email of your right. The password you will generate, normally the system gives you a password. So after registration, only you can apply. Only then you go to the student login. Student login, you need to have your user ID, which you will have by your SMS, the user application ID, and the password also you will have initially, and then give the captcha, and then you will log in. If you lost your password, so no issues, you can have a forget password link here, but your mobile number must be the same as that you have in registration. So user ID and then password, forget password, then you could have your password once more. Or you can change your password also. So once you log in, you will be able to see the application, submit the application. I am not registering, but rather I am giving you one glimpse of the form, what is there. I hope everybody who have applied is know that. So if I get one application, this is the application form. Details, the name, the student ID, this is from the registration itself, date of birth from the registration, from mobile number, this is also from the registration, email ID from the registration, gender, caste, everything is there. So here also you will have automatically which program and which particular course in which institute you are studying. So every details come from the registration. That means that's why the process is on the step by step. So after your registration, only then you can apply. After apply, it is a form from our side, that means from the HEB. So there are this way the application can be formed, and once you submit the form, your screen will be, you will have a status like this. Status like this means you know the when you have registered, when you have applied, and where exactly it is now, and beside that you have a user ID, your mobile number, and your pictures, and also you can have a track here. So that means the track is possible at any point of time to get to know that where your application is. Actually, in our form also there is a track. Here is a track. So once I track, I get all details from the very first day. Very first day is the registration done, application submitted to HY, then application forwarded to HI by the department, and then it come to cover. At the last stage, it is in the hands of government. So that way, for every application, you can track the whole thing, and also the institute also can track the application. And institute as well as the candidate can download the form to have the exact status or the online or on-time track or on-time data of that particular application. So that is possible here. And after this application is getting, what about the institution do? Institution only to view the application, they need to have one user ID and password for it. User ID is very simple of their AISH code, and the password is only using forget password by their mobile itself. So user ID password is very common, and then they need to fill the institution profile by completing these 5 documents. 5 documents mean your AISH uploading certificate, of the last AICHE certificate of 1920, your accreditation, if any, your rank document, if any, and the affiliation document. The affiliation document is the latest one, is preferable, at least for the institute which are private, but for the government it's not the last one, but still we prefer that your last affiliation letter must be attached, either from the NCT or from the government itself. Last affiliation letter needs to be uploaded. And then the bank account. Bank details is essential, as because all institutional fees will be transferred to the institute particular bank account. And if there is no institutional fees, even then kindly provide these bank details, because if at some point of time it makes some emergency to transfer an amount from the bank to your side, not the student side, with a remarks or something like that, then it should be in the institutional bank account. That's why bank account has to be had to have. If you do not have, or if you have any sort of complication here, to have an account, being a government or government aided, please contact us. We will help you to get a bank account by official permission. So no issues there. So these 5 things you need to have. And if you do not have AICHE code or any sort of problem relating to your registration or approval, will contact on this mail, sccout@westbengal@gmail.com. This is directly to me, but on the student credit card only. And then I hope we could help you. And after you upload your institutional profile, you will be able to see all applicants detailed. And at the bottom, it's not visible. This is one of the view application, and this is the track application. So if you view application, the format that I have shown you, that is the view application. This is the view application mode. And on the track application, here there is a track, and here is also you have a track. So view and track applications are possible. And after that, and every time when you log in, you will have a dashboard like this. Dashboard means how many students applied in your institute, and how many you have forwarded, and how many still lying with you, how many has gone to bank, and how many has been sanctioned. These data are available on every login of every institution login, so that institutional track will be available there. Right. So I think these are the basic criteria, but the persons or the students who are doing some sort of dissertation or program, they can also use this data, because at the institution end there is no such of big data. Like only you will have a master of that who have applied it, but we have a lot of things to be on the data. At least that how many have applied, how many are at any end, either in the bank end or in the HY end or in the HD end, and how many loans sanctioned, how many loan rejected, total applications, and all these data are possible. So if you just only go on any of these data, say what is the structure of a data. If I be able to show you, as it is done. Yes, this is the structure of the data. From which department, HCD or SCD, the school also can apply. Name of the state, that means which state the institution belongs to, in which district, and the head of the institute name, his contact, and then the registration application ID, application name, application gender, application caste, then mobile number, email, permanent resident, constitution, that means assembly, কোন program, কোন course, কতটা লোন চেয়েছে, তার কতটা লোন, তার কোভারওয়ারি ইনকাম কত, তার বিদেশে কত লোন চেয়েছে, কোন ব্যাংক থেকে চেয়েছে, কোন ব্রাঞ্চ থেকে চেয়েছে, কোন ডিস্ট্রিক্ট থেকে চেয়েছে, আর HY কবে রিসিভ করেছে। সো ন্যাচারালি এটা যে লেভেল সেই লেভেলের মতো করে এই বেসিক ইনফরমেশন গুলো সবসময় অ্যাভেলেবল, মানে টিল দা লোন ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, don't restrict any of the available. So যারা যারা assess করতে চাও যে কতটা efficiency বা efficacy বা effectiveness of this particular scheme on any areas, we can share the data. If you people wants to do any sort of work, even the students can try to do some dissertation if they have at least any or any sort of project. We are able to share in a formal way. So and it is available for the whole time period. That means from the beginning of the scheme till today. At 7 the data is available. So that, but I just mention one thing: the students, at least if anybody interested, or the teachers who are interested, we can share the data. But data is so big that it's not possible to view on mobile. Even on normal laptop, it won't work. It will take long time to process. But if you want to process, really wants to do the work, do it on a high-end desktop or in high-end laptop. That means at least the RAM will be much higher. Otherwise, you cannot retrieve the data, because say for the all applicant data, it's never possible other than workstation. But for any other area, say how many live with bank, that's possible. That size is 50 MB. So 50 MB data to retrieve and to process it is quite difficult. But we are doing so in the other way around. But I think it can be. But if you have any questions, then I can answer. Till then, I should say thank you.
কারো কোনো প্রশ্ন রয়েছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যালো।
হ্যাঁ বল।
স্যার আমার নাম রাজকিরণ মন্ডল, আমি এসসি ক্যাটাগরিতে বিলং করি। বাট স্যার আমি আমার পিজি পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েশন বিধাননগর ইউনিভার্সিটি হাজারিবাগ থেকে কমপ্লিট করেছি, যেটা ঝাড়খণ্ডে রয়েছে। তো স্যার আমি কি SBMCM অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবো?
No. SBMCM only for the institute in the state only.
In the state of West Bengal.
State of West Bengal.
স্যার আমার ওএসএসটা অ্যাপ্লাই করা হয়েছিল না, ওই অ্যাকচুয়ালি লকডাউনের চলতে আমার যে কাস্ট সার্টিফিকেট সেটা ডিজিটাল নাম্বারটা পাইনি। ওখানে অ্যাপ্লাই করেছিলাম এসডিও অফিসে, বাট ওরা ওই কিছু বাধা নিষেধের জন্য তাড়াতাড়ি কাজটা করতে পারেনি, এবং আমার সেশনটা 2022, সেক্ষেত্রে আমার ওটাও ডিলে হয়ে গেল। তো স্যার আগে কি আমি অন্য কোনো স্কলারশিপ আছে যেটা অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবো এই মুহূর্তে?
না, তুমি যদি ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গলের বাইরের কোন ইনস্টিটিউটে পড়ো তাহলে তুমি SBMCM অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবে না।
স্যার কারেন্টলি আমি এখান থেকে বিএড করছি এই STTC পুরুলিয়া, আর আমি পুরুলিয়ারই ছেলে। আমি আমার রেসিডেন্স
অবশ্যই পাবে SBMCM। যদি তুমি এখান থেকে বিএড করো তাহলে তুমি সেখানে বিএড তো এখন SBMCM এর মধ্যে, তুমি অবশ্যই SBMCM পাবে।
বাট স্যার আমার যে ইউনিভার্সিটি, এখানে আমাকে ইউনিভার্সিটি চুজ করতে হচ্ছে, যে লাস্ট কোয়ালিফাইং এক্সাম যেটা আমি পিজি সিলেক্ট করছি তার স্যার ইউনিভার্সিটিতে ওই আমার ইউনিভার্সিটির নাম নেই, ওই জন্য।
তুমি ইউনিভার্সিটি SBMCM এ তুমি SBMCM এর সাপোর্ট মেলে একটা মেল করো।
ওকে স্যার।
তুমি SBMCM এর একটা সাপোর্ট মেল আছে, SBMCM এর হোম পেজে গেলে ওখানে দেখবে একটা সাপোর্ট মেলের মেল আইডি দেওয়া আছে। তুমি মেল করো, SBMCM এর সাইটে গেলে, ওয়েবসাইটে গেলে ফ্রন্ট হোম পেজে দেখবে একটা সাপোর্ট মেল আছে বা কন্ট্যাক্ট মেল আইডি আছে। তাই তুমি ওই সাপোর্ট মেলে মেল করে দাও তোমার প্রবলেমটা লিখে, যে আমার এই ইউনিভার্সিটির নাম নেই এজ এ লাস্ট কোয়ালিফাইং এক্সাম, মানে লাস্ট কোয়ালিফাইং ডিগ্রির জন্য, আমরা ইনক্লুড করে দেবো।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। ওয়ান মোর প্রবলেম স্যার, যারা 2022 যারা ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল ইউনিভার্সিটি থেকেই পাস আউট হয়েছে তাদেরও কিন্তু অনেকটা ডিফিকাল্টিজ আছে। আমার যে কলিগ বন্ধুরা রয়েছে তারা বলছে যে আমরা অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারছি না, কিছু একটা সমস্যা যেন হচ্ছে।
Let them to clarify or report the problem on the support mail only. Support mail তাদের প্রবলেমটা আমরা দেখে নেব। হ্যাঁ, মানে তাদেরকে তার প্রবলেমটা লিখতে দাও, প্রবলেমটা লিখে দিলে আমাদের যিনি দেখেন মানে বা আমরা যখন বসবো তখন আমরা ডেইলি বেসিসে মেলগুলোর উত্তর দিই, ওতে মেলের উত্তর তুমি পেয়ে যাবে। হয়তো তোমারটা প্রবলেমটা সঙ্গে সঙ্গে রেকটিফাইড হবে না, কিন্তু মেলের একটা উত্তর পাবে। দ্যাট সিগনিফাইজ ইউ দ্য ইউর আনসার।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
হ্যালো স্যার।
হ্যাঁ বলো, স্যার আছেন, বলো স্যার।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমি সোমনাথ বলছি। আমি বিএডে ভর্তি ছিলাম ডিসেম্বরের 2020-তে। তো আমি যখন অ্যাডমিশন ডেটটা দিচ্ছি এটা, তো তারপরে এটা দেওয়ার পরে কিন্তু ওরা লিখছে যে 2020-তে যারা অ্যাডমিশন নিয়েছে তারা কিন্তু SBM সিএম এর স্কলারশিপটি পাবে না। তাহলে কি আমরা এটা পাবো না? মানে এটা করলে রেজিস্টার ফর অপশনটা চলে যাচ্ছে ওইখান থেকে।
এই 1 মিনিটের জন্য আমি আসছি।
ওকে স্যার।
সঞ্জয়দা,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
বলছি
শুনতে পাচ্ছি, বলুন।
হ্যাঁ বলছি, আমার দুটো প্রশ্ন আছে, আসলে এদের হলে আমি একবার বলবো। হ্যাঁ
অবশ্যই অবশ্যই, ঠিক আছে।
আগে স্টুডেন্টদের হয়ে যাক, কি বলছে?
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে।
হ্যাঁ সঞ্জয়, প্লিজ। সরি।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার, সোমনাথ বলছিল স্যার।
কি বলছো বলো।
সোমনাথ।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমি যেটা বলছিলাম, মানে আমি আমাদের কলেজে বিএড ভর্তি হয়েছিলাম ডিসেম্বরে 2020-তে। কিন্তু যখন আপনাদের পোর্টালে চাইছে যে আমার এডমিশন ডেটটা, যখন আমি এটা দিচ্ছি তখন ওরা লিখছে যে 2020-তে যারা অ্যাডমিশন হয়েছে বিএডে তাদেরকে এই অ্যাপ্লিকেশনটা মানে ফিল আপ করতে পারবে না। ওখান থেকে রেজিস্টারের যে অপশনটা সেটা মানে চলে যাচ্ছে আর কি। তাহলে কি আমরা যারা 2020-তে এডমিশন হয়েছি তারা কি এসবিএমসি স্কলারশিপটা পাবো না?
এটা হচ্ছে তুমি জানো বোধ হয়, এই বিএডটা এবছরে কেবলমাত্র ইনক্লুড হয়েছে, এটা আগে থেকে ছিল না। যেহেতু এবছর থেকে ইনক্লুড হয়েছে, তার মানে 21-22-এ যারা ভর্তি হচ্ছে তাদের থেকেই পাবে, 20 থেকে পাবে না, সেই জন্যই তোমাকে দিচ্ছে না।
আচ্ছা, আরেকটা ব্যাপার আছে, মানে কিছুদিন আগে, মোটামুটি 1 সপ্তাহ আগে কিন্তু এটা হচ্ছিল, মানে এই তখনই অসুবিধাটা দেখা যাচ্ছিল না।
তখন হয়তো ক্রস চেকটা দেওয়া ছিল না, তাও তুমি সাপোর্ট মেলে মেল করে দাও, বাকিটুকু
মেলটা এখনো রিপ্লাই পাইনি, মেল করেছি
আমি গোপালকে বলে দেবো, আমি বলে দেবো।
সেই ব্যাপারটা একটু দেখুন কাইন্ডলি।
ঠিক আছে।
হ্যালো স্যার। নমস্কার স্যার, আমি রাহুল কুম্ভকার বলছি। স্যার, আমার স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড নিয়ে একটা প্রশ্ন ছিল।
বল।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, বলছিলাম আমি যদি SBMCM এর জন্য অ্যাপ্লিকেবল হয় স্কলারশিপ, তাহলে আমি কি লোন অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারি?
একদম, কোনো সম্পর্ক নেই।
আচ্ছা স্যার। আর স্যার, আমার কিন্তু ব্যাংকটা স্টেট ব্যাংক ছিল, ওটা তো এখনো ইনক্লুড হয়নি, আপনি যেটা বললেন।
স্টেট ব্যাংক এখনো নট অন বোর্ড, তুমি চাইলে অন্য ব্যাংকে বদলে নিতে পারবে।
আচ্ছা, ইকো চলবে স্যার? না,
হ্যাঁ
ইকো ব্যাংক চলবে তো? ইকো ব্যাংক,
ইকো ব্যাংক চলবে তো, আমি বললাম তো, ইকো, PNB, ইউনিয়ন, এই 3টে ব্যাংক চলবে, আদার দেন কোঅপারেটিভ।
আর স্যার আরেকটা প্রশ্ন ছিল, আমাদের STTCS কলেজে তো সে গভর্নমেন্ট এডেড, তো এটা আমি 1 লাখ বা 3 লাখ অব্দি করতে পারি না লোনটা?
2 লাখ প্লাস কোর্স ফি।
আচ্ছা স্যার, মানে আমার কোর্স ফি তো 40,000 অ্যারাউন্ড, তাহলে স্যার আমি 1 লাখ অব্দি করতে পারি? আচ্ছা স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
আর কেউ?
হ্যালো স্যার। স্যার, আমার একটা প্রশ্ন ছিল।
বলো রমেশ।
বলছিলাম স্যার, বলছিলাম স্যার যেটা, সেটা হলো যে যারা মনে করুন বিএড পাস করেছে 2019-এর আগে, এখানে 19, 20, 21 অপশন দেওয়া আছে, কিন্তু এমএ পড়ছে কারেন্ট সেশনে, তাহলে তারা কি এই স্বামী বিবেকানন্দ স্কলারশিপে এলিজিবল নয়?
সে মাস্টার্স হিসেবে পাবে।
না, তো কিন্তু ওখানে লাস্ট এক্সামিনেশন পাসটা স্যার 19 পর্যন্ত যাচ্ছে, কিন্তু কেউ যদি মনে করেন 15তে পাস করেছে, 16তে পাস করেছে, আর এখন বর্তমানে এমএড করছে, তাহলে সেক্ষেত্রে
হ্যাঁ, এমএড করার জন্য তার কোনো এজ লিমিট বা কোয়ালিফাইং এক্সাম থাকে না, এটা তো ইম্পর্টেন্ট।
কিন্তু বিএড করেছে স্যার 2015তে, মনে করুন 12তে করেছে, বা মানে 2019-এর আগে করেছে, বিফোর 2009।
লাস্ট এক্সাম হচ্ছে 19-এর আগে, এই তো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার,
ঠিক আছে।
আমি স্যার ওটা মেলও করেছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ, মেল করেছিলাম, গোপাল তো দেয়নি।
না স্যার, উত্তর আপনার।
ঠিক আছে, আমি বলবো গোপালকেই দেখেন, খেয়াল করেন। ঠিক আছে,
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ।
স্বপন বাবু কিছু বলছিলেন। স্বপন বাবু, আপনার কি প্রশ্ন ছিল বলছিলেন?
বলছি আমি শুনলাম স্যারের এটাতে যে ধরুন কোটা থেকে পড়তে গেলে সেও এটার জন্য এলিজিবল হবে স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ডে,
একদম
ঠিক আছে স্যার? তো সাপোজ একজন কেউ ওখানে কোচিং নিয়ে 3 লাখ টাকা কোচিং নিয়ে কোয়ালিফাই করলো এমবিবিএস এর জন্য,
ঠিক।
তারপর সে আবার এমবিবিএস করার জন্য সে আবার বাকি 7 লাখ যে রেসিডিউ আছে সেটা অ্যাভেল করতে চাইছে।
পারবে, অ্যাপ্লাই করবে।
পারবে স্যার, হ্যাঁ। তো আমি বলছি, যেটা বললেন যে কোটাতে গেলে যে আপনি বললেন একটা যে রেজিস্ট্রেশন নাম্বার ইউনিভার্সিটির বাইরে, তো প্রাইভেট যেগুলো আছে তাদের কি লাগবে?
না না, সেটা তো ইনস্টিটিউশন রেসপেক্টে তো বলছেন।
না না না, ছাত্র যখন অ্যাপ্লাই করবে তখন কি লাগবে তার ওই ইনস্টিটিউটের মানে ইউনিভার্সিটির যে রেজিস্ট্রেশন নাম্বার এরকম?
না না না, একদম না। ছাত্র শুধু কোটাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছে কিনা এটা ইস্যুস। যদি সে দেখতে পাওয়ার কথা, যদি সে দেখতে না পায়, তাহলে আমাদের মেল করলে আমরা সেটা ইনক্লুড করে দেবো।
ঠিক ঠিক স্যার। আরেকটা প্রশ্ন, যে ধরুন আপনি যেটা বললেন যে কোর্স শেষ হওয়ার পরের মাস থেকে ইএমআই শুরু হবে,
1 বছর পর থেকে।
1 বছর পর থেকে। তো 1 বছর পর থেকে ইএমআই শুরু হলো, এবার কোচিং এর সময় একটা ইএমআই নিয়েছিল, লোন নিয়েছিল, তারপরে আবার কোর্স করার জন্য মানে এমবিবিএস করার জন্য সে 1 বছর পরে আবার নিল, তো তার এবার সে এমবিবিএস এড হওয়ার পর তার ইএমআই শুরু হবে?
না, একদম না। যে সেটা যেটা সে কোচিং এর সময় নিয়েছিল, সেটা তার কোচিং 3 বছরের হলে 4th ইয়ারের
থেকে শুরু
হবে। এমবিবিএস এর জন্য সে যেটা নেবে, এমবিবিএস যেদিন শেষ হলো তার 1 বছর পর থেকে এমবিবিএস এরটা শুরু হবে।
ঠিক আছে,
দুটো লোন সাইমultaneously চলবে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা স্যার, আরেকটা প্রশ্ন, যে তাদের ইএমআই নাম্বার অফ ইএমআইটা কিভাবে ঠিক হবে, মানে কারা?
এটা বিটুইন ব্যাংক এন্ড দ্য ক্যান্ডিডেট।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
এটা বিটুইন এন্ড ইট ইজ এ ফ্লেক্সিবল মোড।
আচ্ছা স্যার, ঠিক। মানে এটার জন্য নির্দিষ্ট কোনো নেই যে এটাই হতে হবে এরকম কিছু নেই? ব্যাংক যেটা মনে করবে,
ব্যাংক কেন, ক্যান্ডিডেট মনে করলো, ধরো এমবিবিএস পাস করে ছেলে বেরিয়ে এলো, সে তো বলবে যে আমি 24 মাসে দিয়ে দেবো, 24 মাসে দিয়ে দেবো, তো ব্যাংকটাকে সেভাবে ক্যালকুলেট করে দেবে।
আবার ধরুন এমনও হতে পারে যে একজন ফেল করলো, মানে কোচিং নিয়ে তারপর সে সাকসেস হলো না, সে কিছু করতে পারলো না, সে আবার আপ টু 40 ইয়ার্স পর্যন্ত সে পে করতে পারবে?
সে ওই তার কোচিং শেষ হলো, তারপরে তার 1 বছর পর থেকে সে লোন মানে রিপে করতে শুরু করতে পারবে।
সাকসেস হলো না,
না, সে ব্যাংকের ক্ষেত্রে চাইতেই পারে যে আমি আনাদার 3 to 4 ইয়ার্স বাদ দিয়ে, মানে আনাদার 11 ইয়ার্স এর লোনটা শোধ করবো, ব্যাংক তাকে সেরকম ব্যবস্থা করে দেবে।
ঠিক ঠিক ঠিক, এইটাই প্রশ্ন ছিল যে ম্যাক্সিমাম লিমিট অফ পেমেন্ট আমি জিজ্ঞেস করতে চাই। ঠিক আছে স্যার।
স্টুডেন্টদের তরফ থেকে আর কোনো প্রশ্ন? স্যারকে এখনো তোমরা পেয়েছো, যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থেকে থাকে
করতে পারবে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আমার আরেকটা প্রশ্ন ছিল স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ড সম্বন্ধে। আমার সেশনটা হচ্ছে 2022। তো যেহেতু আমরা অলরেডি দুটো সেমিস্টারের যে আমাদের এডমিশন ফি সেটা অলরেডি দিয়েছি কলেজকে, তাহলে যদি আমি এখন আমার লোনটা অ্যাপ্রুভ করি, আমি অ্যাপ্লাই করেছি অলমোস্ট, আমি ব্যাংকের সাথে কন্ট্যাক্ট করেছি, তাহলে কি আমরা সেই যে 10,000 করে দুটো সেমিস্টারের ফি কলেজকে সাবমিট করেছি 20,000, তাহলে সেটা কি পাওয়া যাবে ওই লোনের থ্রু, না ওটা এক্সক্লুড করে দেবো?
না না না, স্টুডেন্ট ক্রেডিট কার্ডের বেসিক এম হচ্ছে দেয়ার ইজ নো রিএম্বার্সমেন্ট। দেয়ার ইজ নো রিএম্বার্সমেন্ট মানে যেটা তুমি দিয়েছো সেটা তুমি কখনোই পাবে না এই স্কিমের আন্ডারে। যেটা তোমার ইয়ের টু পে সেটাই কেবলমাত্র তুমি এই লোন স্কিম থেকে পাবে। বুঝতে পারলে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ। ওয়ান মোর কোয়েশ্চেন স্যার। স্যার আমি অ্যাপ্লাই করেছিলাম 2 লাখের জন্য, আমার কলেজের রেস্ট ফি যেটা সেটা 20,000 আছে। তাহলে আমি কি এই এত বড় অ্যামাউন্ট একটা কি পাওয়ার সম্ভাবনা আছে, এটা কি পেতে পারি?
হ্যাঁ অবশ্যই, কারণ তুমি তো গভর্নমেন্ট এডেড ইনস্টিটিউশনে পড়ো, তাহলে তোমার নন ইনস্টিটিউশনাল ফিস 2 লাখ অব্দি তুমি ম্যাক্সিমাম নিতে পারো, আর প্লাস কোর্স ফি নিতে পারো। তো কোর্স ফি তোমার যদি 20,000 টাকা দিয়ে তুমি 1,80,000 চেয়েছো নন ইনস্টিটিউশনে, so that is permissible, that is by scheme it is permissible, no issues. এবার ব্যাংকের সাথে তোমার সম্পর্ক।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
তাহলে সঞ্জয় ছিল।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার, স্যার অনেক ধন্যবাদ আপনাকে। তো স্যার ছিলেন এবং খুব বুঝিয়েছিলেন। আর এইবারও আমার মনে হয় না আর কোন স্টুডেন্টের কোন জায়গা থাকবে। আপনি এত, হ্যাঁ স্যার, এত সুন্দরভাবে করে ফর্মকে ডাউনলোড করে সেগুলো দিয়ে কোথায় ইন ডিটেল একদম নিখুঁত ভাবে করেছেন। সুতরাং আমার মনে হয় না যে আর কারো কোনো জায়গাতে কোনো অসুবিধা থাকতে পারে বলে। খুব ভালো লাগলো আপনাকে আবার পেয়ে। ডাকবো স্যার, এবং ততবারই পাবো ততবারই আমরা উপকৃত হবো। শুধু ছাত্রছাত্রী না, সঙ্গে আমরাও অনেকটা জানলাম, অনেকটা বুঝতে পারলাম। ঠিক আছে স্যার, খুব ভালো লাগলো। আপনার এই বছরটা খুব ভালো কাটুক আমাদের কলেজের তরফ থেকে, আমরা এটাই আশা করছি।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
All right, sir. Now, as it is Students' Week, so in my opinion, it will be better if we conclude the program by one of our students speak. So, I am requesting Jhilamsan to conclude the program by saying something and delivering thanks to all the present member and to our esteemed guests. Over to Jhilam.
So here comes the hour of Thanksgiving. The discussion is likely to be rounded off with a vote of thanks. I and we all express our heartfelt gratitude to the chief guests of today's program, Sir Ashish Kumar Srivastav and Sir Tushar Kanti Ghora, who have explained to us the importance of blended learning and students' welfare scheme in West Bengal through presentation of slides and screen presentation for better comprehension, making it digestible and palatable for the students. So Tushar Kanti Ghora also took the pains of going to the extent of describing the working mechanism of the e-application form needed by students to avail the students' loan. I also express my heartfelt gratitude to the meeting host, Sir Sanjay Adhikari, all the other teachers who have taken much pains in establishing this program as a well-run one, to the patient listeners and the fellow students who have invested their esteemed time in order to pay heed and lend their ears to the discussion that has been going on. The discussion has essentially been an enlightening one. We have been endowed with much resources to understand what is blended learning mode and what is digital learning mechanism. The Students' Welfare Scheme was an awareness program, to be precise, which helped us to understand how to fill up the form required to avail the student loan. Hence, in a nutshell, I want to conclude with a succinct and a very terse statement to round up this discussion, that is thank you, and all our heartfelt gratitude is with you all. Thank you so much.
স্যার ওর বক্তব্য শেষ হয়েছে, তাহলে আমরা কি কনক্লুড করছি এখন? সঞ্জয় স্যার?